Have you ever laid down at night, body exhausted but mind racing, like you've had 3 cups of coffee? You look down at your belly and feel a deep frustration, realizing that despite dieting and some exercise, that stubborn fat, especially around your midsection, just won't budge. If this sounds familiar, know that you're not alone, and the answer to both these problems might be interconnected in a way most people, especially those over 50, are completely unaware of. What I am going to share with you today is not a magic pill or a trendy restrictive diet. It's a physiological adjustment, a science-backed technique you can do in just 2 minutes before bed to potentially reconfigure the hormone that might be sabotaging both your sleep and your weight loss efforts. We're talking about a silent enemy that, when dysregulated, becomes one of the biggest villains of our metabolic health: cortisol. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to unravel the 2-min bedtime trick that zeroes out cortisol and burns fat. But we'll do it the right way, based on scientific evidence, explaining why it works and how you can start applying it today, safely and effectively. If you're ready to finally understand the root of the problem and discover a powerful tool for your well-being, take this opportunity now to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, because what you're about to learn here could be the missing link in your health journey. To understand the solution, we first need to dissect the problem in its entirety. Cortisol. You've likely heard of it as the stress hormone, and that's a correct but incomplete definition. Cortisol, produced by the adrenal glands, is vital for our survival. It follows a natural rhythm called the circadian rhythm. Its levels are highest in the morning to give us energy and wake us up, and gradually decrease throughout the day, reaching their lowest point at night to allow the body to relax and initiate deep sleep repair processes. The problem isn't cortisol itself, but rather chronically elevated cortisol, or cortisol that's high at the wrong time, like bedtime. For people over 50, this dysregulation is particularly dangerous. With aging, our bodies become less resilient to hormonal fluctuations and the effects of chronic stress. When cortisol is high at night, it sends an alert message to the body. It tells your brain, "Stay awake, there's imminent danger." This results in that plugged-in feeling when you lie down, difficulty falling asleep, and nighttime awakenings. But the sabotage doesn't stop there. Elevated cortisol promotes gluconeogenesis, a process where the liver produces glucose. This spikes blood sugar, and consequently, insulin. Insulin, in turn, is a storage hormone. When it's high, the body stops burning fat and starts storing it, primarily in the abdominal area. This is the dreaded visceral fat, the dangerous fat that accumulates around organs and is linked to a host of chronic diseases. So you see the disastrous cascade. Daily stress keeps your cortisol high. This cortisol prevents you from sleeping well. Lack of sleep further elevates cortisol the next day. And this whole hormonal cycle creates the perfect environment for belly fat accumulation. It's a vicious cycle that seems impossible to break. But why does our body react this way? What is the biological mechanism that keeps us stuck in this state of constant alert, even when we're safe in our beds? The answer to this question lies in our autonomic nervous system, the autopilot of our body that controls functions like heart rate, breathing, and digestion. It's divided into 2 main parts that act like a switch: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of the sympathetic system as the gas pedal. It's our fight or flight response. When you face a threat, whether it was a lion on the savannah thousands of years ago, or a tight deadline and a flooded inbox today, the sympathetic system is activated. It releases adrenaline and then cortisol to prepare your body for action. Your heart races, your blood pressure rises, your muscles tense. It's a brilliant survival mechanism, but it was designed to be short-lived. The problem with modern life is that many of our stresses aren't resolved in minutes. They are chronic. Financial worries, relationship issues, the constant stream of negative news. All of this keeps our gas pedal pressed down all day. On the other side, we have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the brake pedal. It's our rest and digest response. When activated, it calms the body, slows the heart rate, reduces blood pressure, and crucially sends a signal to the adrenal glands to stop producing so much cortisol. It tells the body, the danger has passed, it's okay, you can relax and recover. For restorative sleep and a healthy metabolism, it's essential that at night, our body can switch off the sympathetic system and activate the parasympathetic. But for many of us, especially after decades of accumulated stress, this switch seems broken. We get stuck in fight or flight mode, with cortisol circulating at high levels at bedtime. This is where the big secret comes in. What if I told you there's a way to manually engage that brake pedal? What if there was a way to communicate directly with the parasympathetic system and tell it to take over? This direct communication with our relaxation system is possible, and the key to it is a fascinating anatomical structure: the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body, extending from the brain to the abdomen, and it's the main component of the parasympathetic nervous system. It acts like a two-way information superhighway, connecting the brain to virtually every vital organ in the torso, including the heart, lungs, and intestines. Vagal tone, the activity of the vagus nerve, is an indicator of our ability to relax after stress. High vagal tone is associated with better glucose regulation, lower inflammation, a more stable mood, and a faster ability to shift from an alert state to a calm one. Conversely, low vagal tone is linked to conditions like anxiety, depression, and metabolic problems. The major discovery, which forms the basis of our 2-minute trick, is that we can intentionally stimulate and strengthen the vagus nerve. And the simplest, most direct, and powerful way to do this is through breathing. Specifically, through a type of breathing most of us have forgotten how to do: diaphragmatic breathing, or belly breathing. The diaphragm, that dome-shaped muscle at the base of your lungs, is intimately connected to the vagus nerve. When we breathe short and shallow, using only our chest, as we do when stressed or anxious, we barely move our diaphragm. This sends an alert signal to the brain. However, when we breathe deeply, filling our abdomen with air, and allowing the diaphragm to descend and gently massage our internal organs, we are directly activating the fibers of the vagus nerve. This activation sends a cascade of calming signals throughout the body. The heart slows down, blood vessels dilate, blood pressure drops, and most importantly, for our discussion, the adrenal glands receive the signal to decrease cortisol production. It's not a mystical concept. It's pure physiology. You are literally using your breath control to hack your nervous system and change your biochemistry. This may sound too good to be true, but the science supporting the connection between slow, diaphragmatic breathing and stress reduction is robust and growing. Numerous studies published in medical and physiology journals have demonstrated the measurable effects of this practice. For example, research published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine examined the effects of slow breathing on stress markers. The results showed that regular practice not only reduced salivary cortisol levels, a direct indicator of the stress axis activity, but also increased heart rate variability, HRV. HRV is a measure of the variation in time between each heartbeat and is one of the best indicators of the health of our autonomic nervous system. High HRV indicates that the parasympathetic system, our brake, is active and the body is flexible and resilient to stress. Low HRV, on the other hand, is a sign that the sympathetic system, the gas pedal, is dominant. Other studies using functional neuroimaging have shown that conscious breathing activates brain areas responsible for emotional regulation and attention, such as the prefrontal cortex, while calming the amygdala, our fear and anxiety center. Now, it's crucial to be honest about the strength and limitations of this evidence, as is our ethic here on the channel. Diaphragmatic breathing won't magically zero out your cortisol, as cortisol is necessary for life. The goal is regulation. It helps bring down levels that are inappropriately high at the wrong time. Similarly, it doesn't directly burn fat like exercise. What it does is create the conducive hormonal and physiological environment for fat burning to occur. By reducing cortisol and insulin at night and improving sleep quality, you allow other hormones, like growth hormone, GH, which is released during deep sleep and aids in fat burning, to do their job. Therefore, view this technique not as a miraculous cure, but as an extremely powerful leverage tool to optimize the results you're already seeking with healthy eating and physical activity. If you're finding this information valuable, please share this video with a friend or family member who could also benefit. Now that we understand the what and the why, let's get to the how. I'm going to guide you step by step through the exact technique, the 2-minute ritual you can start practicing tonight. The beauty of this lies in its simplicity. You don't need any special equipment, just a quiet place where you can lie down. First, find the right position. Lie on your back on your bed or a mat on the floor. Bend your knees and keep your feet flat on the surface with your spine relaxed. This position helps relax your abdominal muscles and facilitates diaphragm movement. Now, the hand placement. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly, just below your ribs. Your hands will serve as sensors, so you can feel which part of your body is moving. The goal is to have the hand on your belly move significantly, while the hand on your chest stays as still as possible. Close your eyes and breathe normally for a few seconds, just to connect with your body. Now, begin the exercise. Inhale slowly through your nose for about 4 seconds. As you inhale, focus on sending the air deep into your lungs, pushing your belly outwards. You should feel the hand on your abdomen rise towards the ceiling. Feel the expansion. Hold the breath for a brief moment, perhaps 1 or 2 seconds, without straining. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth, as if gently blowing through a straw, for about 6 to 8 seconds. As you exhale, feel your belly fall, gently engaging your abdominal muscles to help push all the air out. The most important part is that the exhale is longer than the inhale. It is this prolonged exhale that most stimulates the vagus nerve and activates the relaxation response. Repeat this cycle. Inhale through your nose for 4. Exhale through your mouth for 6 or 8, continuously for at least 2 minutes. At first, it might feel strange or even difficult, but be patient. Keep focusing on the sensation of your hand rising and falling with your breath. This is your tactile feedback that you are doing it correctly and activating the right mechanism. Practicing this breathing for 2 minutes before bed is much more than a simple relaxation exercise. It's an act of neurological reconditioning. By doing this consistently, night after night, you are training your nervous system to transition from a fight or flight state to a rest and digest state more efficiently. This is based on the principle of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself and form new neural connections throughout life. Each time you practice diaphragmatic breathing, you strengthen the neural pathway of relaxation. Over time, your body learns to associate lying in bed with activating the parasympathetic system. That plugged in state begins to diminish because you've taught your body a new pattern of response. Let's revisit the hormonal cascade we discussed, but now under the positive influence of this practice. By lowering cortisol before bed, you are signaling to your body that it's safe to relax. This facilitates sleep onset. With better quality deeper sleep, your body optimizes the release of anabolic and restorative hormones such as growth hormone, GH, and testosterone, which are crucial for maintaining muscle mass and fat metabolism, especially important after 50, when sarcopenia, muscle loss, becomes a concern. At the same time, reducing nighttime cortisol helps regulate blood sugar levels and improve insulin sensitivity. A more insulin-sensitive body is a body that burns fat more efficiently and stores less, especially in the abdominal area. Therefore, the trick isn't an isolated event, but the start of a positive chain reaction. It breaks the vicious cycle of stress and poor sleep and replaces it with a virtuous cycle of relaxation, restorative sleep, and hormonal balance. This favorable internal environment is what ultimately allows your body to access and burn fat reserves more effectively. While the technique is simple, there are a few common pitfalls that can diminish its effectiveness, especially at first. The first is impatience. Many people expect a deep, immediate sense of relaxation on the first try. For some, this may happen, but for many, especially those who have lived in a state of chronic stress for years, it can take time for the body to relearn how to relax. The mind may wander, you might feel frustrated, or find the breath counting annoying. The key is persistence and gentleness with yourself. If your mind wanders, simply bring your focus back to the sensation of your hand rising and falling. It's not about perfection, but about practice. Another common mistake is forcing the breath. Diaphragmatic breathing should be deep, but gentle. If you are straining too much, tensing your shoulders or neck, you are actually activating the stress response. The movement should be fluid and natural, coming from the relaxation of the diaphragm, not force. Consistency is undoubtedly the most critical factor for success. Doing this for one night and expecting a lasting change is unrealistic. The true power of this technique reveals itself with daily practice. Think of it like training a muscle. The muscle of your parasympathetic system needs regular exercise to strengthen. Making these 2 minutes a non-negotiable ritual before bed, much like brushing your teeth, is what will create the profound biochemical and neurological changes we are seeking. Over time, you'll not only notice that you fall asleep more easily, but also that your ability to handle stress throughout the day improves. You become more resilient because your nervous system is more balanced and doesn't overreact to daily triggers. The nightly practice starts to have an effect that extends throughout your day, creating a foundation of calm and balance. It's fundamental to understand that this 2-minute trick, as powerful as it is one piece of a larger health and wellness puzzle. It works best when integrated into a lifestyle that supports hormonal balance and stress regulation. This includes a nutritious diet, focusing on whole foods and avoiding excessive sugar and processed foods that can disrupt blood sugar and cortisol. It also includes regular physical activity, which is one of the best ways to metabolize stress hormones, but avoiding very high-intensity exercises too close to bedtime, as they can actually increase cortisol temporarily. Sleep hygiene is also crucial. Create a dark, cool bedroom environment. Avoid phone and TV screens for at least an hour before bed, as blue light suppresses melatonin production, the sleep hormone. This breathing technique should be seen as the icing on the cake, the final act that prepares your body and mind for deep, restorative sleep. Now, and this is most important of all, we arrive at our medical disclaimer. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice and should not replace consultation with a qualified healthcare professional. If you have chronic sleep problems, anxiety, or are concerned about your weight and metabolic health, it is absolutely essential that you see a doctor. Underlying medical conditions may be contributing to your symptoms, and only a professional can make a proper diagnosis and recommend the correct treatment. Never start or stop any treatment or supplement without consulting your doctor first. That said, this breathing technique is a safe and powerful tool that can complement your care plan. I hope this detailed guide has given you the knowledge and confidence to get started. If you try the technique, come back to this video and leave a comment sharing your experience. Together, we can build a supportive community in the pursuit of a healthier, more balanced life.